Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is a really big turning point new moon coming up on the 21st, 22nd of January at 1 degree and 32 minutes of Aquarius. Why is this such a big deal? Well, it's pulling together various strands that began in 2020. We had the Pluto-Saturn conjunction at the beginning of 2020, which heralded the COVID, the pandemic, the realization that we are all connected by the air frequency. The air that we breathe, the sneezes, the coughs, the sniffles. We began to realize that we are connected by invisible forces. This was the beginning. At the end of 2020, we had the amazing conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So we have this ending of Pluto in Capricorn, which we're still in, and the beginning of the energy of the Aquarian energy. And at the time of this new moon, we've got Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn and the sun and moon at this 1 degree of Aquarius. So if you like, it's another accentuation of the releasing of old structures and the beginning of new futures. See if you can find this 1 degree of Aquarius in your chart, late Capricorn, early Aquarius, because this will show you the life area that's being triggered at the moment. It's certainly going to affect people with the fixed signs, the Aquarius, the Leo, the Scorpio, the Taurus. Any planets that you've got in those signs are going to be especially affected by this. But we've got so many things coming together. So I've been so excited to do this video because it's such a powerful time. I spoke to you in October about the Venus star point, that huge news when Venus went into Libra star point for the first time in a couple hundred years. So huge shift. We had the huge shift in 2020 of Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions going into air signs, which hadn't happened since 1405. And now we begin another 200 cycle in air. In 2025, Uranus will go into Gemini. So we have all the air signs represented here. We've got Aquarius, we've got Libra with the star point, and Uranus going into Gemini. So we've got a huge gust of air energy. Added to that, in March, Pluto will peep his nose into 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this is a huge turning point right at the beginning of 2023, where many of you may feel as though you're living in between two worlds. An old, archaic world, and the new hasn't quite yet been built, hasn't quite manifested yet. And you may feel that in your own life. It's like, I kind of know something new is coming, and there's old things going, but what's coming into its place? And I think that this new moon in Aquarius gives you new ideas, new possibilities. The Pluto conjunction here is this grappling between what of the old do you want to keep? It's not about throwing the baby out with the bathwater, but really carefully looking at what you've worked on hard with a lot of effort and what you really need to hold on to and what must go. And of course, we have to do that as a society, as a community, as humanity as a whole. We're having to look at the bigger structures. So look at these big structures in your life. and see what's working and what's not. And here with the new moon energy at this 1 degree of Aquarius, what's your new vision for the future? What do you want to create? It's a very creative energy. We've got a trine with Mars. So it's a great time for forward thinking, thinking ahead of your time, being willing to stand out. Aquarius has to do with you being an individual. Yes, I made a crazy t-shirt. As I was preparing to do this video, I was so excited. I usually come in with all my notes and my ideas. And I came in with my vegetables. I thought, now how did that happen? You see, so it's a quirky, crazy type of energy. Allow your quirkiness to come out. It's needed. I can't remember who said it. I think it might have been Mark Twain or Oscar Wilde, who said that once you start to become a part of the majority, it's time to pause and take stock. It's a time not to be normal. It's a time to really be the unique individual that you are, that has to fit into this whole diverse whole that we are in this process of creating. So we're at a very pivotal point, and I feel that this new moon is an amazing new moon. I looked in depth at the Sabian symbol because I don't usually look at this, but because we've got Pluto coming into 0 Aquarius, the Jupiter-Saturn energy that we had in 2020, aligning with the exact degree, yes, it's a conjunct to this 0-1 degree of Aquarius. And the Sabian symbol is an old adobe mission. What does this mean? Well, the old adobe missions that were built in California were built with tremendous effort, tremendous sacrifice and commitment, and a sense of community, a sense of coming together, places where people would be safe, could survive in wild elements, and a place where people can pray and practice the spiritual life. Always remember that Aquarius is ruled by 2 planets, Saturn and Uranus. So we'll be looking at this time as the concretization, the realizations of our ideals. Saturn is about our survival. And we've got at the time of this moon energy, there's so much happening. Saturn is conjunct to Venus in Aquarius. So this is about building new structures that enable us to raise our consciousness. Coming from love of our individuality, not wanting to quash another because they're different, but opening up to different viewpoints, different ideas, different visions, different possibilities. So this is really a lot of new building of new structures is coming. And as well, added to that, Uranus co-ruler is conjunct the North Node and trine to Mercury. So this suggests that we really will begin to create new uses of money, new ways of trading with one another, new values, and this also happening within you, how you feel about finance, about money, new values that you want to express in the world, new qualities that you want to develop and work on, new spiritual qualities. What are you growing in your garden? This has very much, we've got this earth energy this year, earth and water, and the air is pushing through. So it's very important to be practical, to be grounded, to be centered. And at the same time, to use this energy of Aquarius to create that new vision. So I think it's a wonderful time in some ways for going on a spiritual retreat, for connecting with natural surroundings. I think we're going to look at creating new civilizations. We're at such a pivotal point. To me, it's as big as Stonehenge, the pyramids, the building of structures that are long-lasting, that combine our need for survival on this planet and at the same time our spiritual consciousness. So it's finding places where we can work with spirit, finding sanctuaries of healing, of learning, centers where we can come together. So this is just, it's a very pivotal karmic destiny point. And it's on a personal level, allowing yourself just to be the craziness that you are, allowing it to come out and laughing about it. Yes, I parked my little Nissan Micra and I came out of the shop. We had a few bags and I'm trying to open the door. It's not opening. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm juggling these bags and I'm tugging at the door. It's still not opening. And I realize I'm parked behind the car that I thought was mine. I mean, it was the same car, the same color. I could be forgiven a little bit. And of course, I'm trying to get in somebody else's car. So let your uniqueness shine. I'm reminded that Aquarius, it does have the negative side that we need to watch out for. And Pluto moving into Aquarius, I'll say more about that. But beware of cults, of indoctrination, of people wanting to dominate by saying this is the only way. These are the only sets of beliefs and ideas. No, we've got to make space for all. That's what's being asked of at this time. And I'm reminded of a quote by Yogananda. I think I'll need to paraphrase it because I'm not sure I can remember it exactly. Because Aquarius has to do with being alone and being part of a group. Being alone and together. It's a dichotomy. And Aquarius doesn't like to get too close. And Yogananda said, in distant closeness, love thrives. In wrong familiarity, love dies. So I think there's something in that we allow a distant closeness with one another. So that means encouraging each person to develop to their highest potential and allowing space between the closeness, not getting too familiar, where somebody becomes so familiar that you don't see the newness, you don't see the changes in that person. That can happen with families. Oh, well, we know what you're like. No, you don't know. There's always a mystery to each person. And that's what I feel is being communicated by the energy of this new cycle. So I'm looking forward to your comments, looking forward to the feedback here, what you're feeling that this can mean for you in your life, and also as we move into New Earth. Thank you for listening. Much love.